with enthusiasm. Look at that boy, got that slick back. Boy, Doe got that. Boy, he knew people were watching. Boy, he had that thing. He knew people was watching this. That boy got that slick back. Boy, Doe, he came in this bitch looking like Pat Riley. That boy looking like Pat Riley. Yeah, that's what we like. That's what we like, boy, Doe. That boy. that boy clean, ain't it? Alright, look. So I gotta do my intro, bro. Don't make me laugh, bro. Oh shit. Don't make me laugh, bro. I gotta do my intro for the YouTube. Hold on. Bow, boy, where you been? It's TeeJay, the artist. You rock with me. You are the smartest, and we back with another video, man. We got the first college football 26 Dynasty by Bordeaux. Shout out to Bordeaux. Look at that boy right there looking like Pat Riley. I just said that joke, but I'm gonna say it again. Anyway, we about to get into this video, man. Shout out to everybody that's watching. Let's do it. Could you turn me up in the headphones a little bit? Here we go.
Dynasty's gotten a lot harder.
Turn it down,
Football 26. So my goal in this video is to show you what's changed.
That boy got hands on his knee. Was that the coach?
Figure out about Dynasty so far. I'm not saying you won't be
The
successful.
coach ain't had no sleeves on
without my help, but you'll probably wish that you had it. And thank you to EA for allowing me to capture this early access footage.
Let me know if the audio good or whatever.
A lot of stuff in the new trophy room. We even won
trophy room.
But unfortunately, being ranked 18th, we didn't make it to the college football playoffs. That means my one goal, besides teach you all about Dynasty in this video, will be getting there with Ball State. And I have to mention that all of this was captured on a work-in-progress build, so what's shown is subject to change. With all that out of the way, you're probably wondering what makes
Dude, I know you see that jersey back there.
It all comes back to the new dynamic and also
that's the wrong 15 though. That's Anthony Richardson. He need that Tebow.
It's much more active. If a player's deal breaker is broken, they could enter the portal. So take a look at the bottom right corner. What you'll see is as a player's overall drops, the school grade needed to maintain their deal breaker gets a lot lower. As guys get better and older too, they're going to want higher school grades to maintain their spot on your roster. So for example, my current Heisman winning quarterback, when he was a true freshie, all he cared about was having like C playing time as his deal breaker, but now that he's a 94 overall, he wants A+ playing time. If you don't mean
so as they get better, their deal breaker grade gets better. Also, this is how you spell Bearcats this whole time? That wasn't a CATS? I'm learning.
For example, my current Heisman winning quarterback, when he was a true freshie, all he cared about was having like C playing time as his deal breaker, but now that he's a 94 overall, he wants A+ playing time. If you don't meet a player's deal breaker, just like they're willing to flip their commitment mid-year, they're also willing to enter the transfer portal, which makes it really hard if you're rebuilding a small school. Just like in real life, you can lose a lot of talent quickly. Thankfully, there are...
You can cheat. You can cheat. Max transfers per team. You can cheat. You can set how many people can leave you.
Sliders that you can mess around with as well. We'll get to those soon. But as I start this Dynasty with Ball State, I want to make it very clear, this is not my first rebuild series, just a helpful guide for you all. I've been eliminating schools on Twitter like last year to decide my first real rebuild. And because I'm very excited to do a full rebuild series this year, that's not going to come until
shout out to the follow, Darth.
With all that out of the way though, let's take over Ball State and get them their first college football play.
Oh, he using Ball State? Somebody try to leave me, I'm changing their position. Change them and then let them go. They're gonna be so sorry. Why does wide receiver a linebacker? Why he an offensive lineman? Why is this wide receiver an offensive lineman? Alright, so the overall, Ball State 62, 64 offense, 61 defense. Lord have mercy. What y'all doing over there in Ball State, boy?
Playoff appearance. As you might know, there are real coaches in the game this year, but I'm not going to take over Ball State's program with their real head coach. I want to create myself. And if you do that, this is the first screen that you're met with. Now, unlike last year, whatever you select first here is extremely important, so you want to keep that in mind. And being a recruiter is no longer as overpowered as it once was. If you go down the tactician pathway, there's a lot of upgrades that are going to make just ratings better on your team, and motivators going to help with how quickly players progress. That is why at least
offensive tackle 208.
Now, I'm going to be going down the motivator pathway. Choose whatever you want, though. Have some fun with it. It adds to the replayability. Your playbook is very important, though. We're going to get back to this in a little bit.
Okay.
For creating your coach this year, you can select a few extra things like demeanor as well. I want to be intense over on the sideline. I also found one of these stands.
That's why his hands was on his knees.
Hilarious. You all will see once.
You can set your hands on your knees as a coach. You got, man, bro, you can customize everything in this game, bro.
They actually gave us some options to dress up with as well. Our coach this year, so we're gonna have to rock the sleeve.
Nah, bro, he gotta rock the
on knees is hilarious.
The bubble coat.
We'll see once we get into a game.
Yeah, right there. Yeah, that's my outfit right there.
They actually gave us some options.
Or this one. Nah, this jacket hard. And then when I make my FAMU Dynasty and I put this on.
To dress up with as well, our coach this year, so we're gonna have to rock the sleeveless tee. I feel like there's no other way to.
What coach wears this? Also, why does this coach have it cut like a V-neck so you can rip it open like he fucking Hulk Hogan or something? Who put this in the game? Take this out. This should not be in this game. Take it out.
To go about it. My goal is to make other coaches as uncomfortable as possible as we assert our dominance over on the sideline.
That is not a coach fit. Charlotte, this is not a coach fit. Look at this outfit. Oh, coach. Look at this. What kind of outfit is this, bro? This is why y'all are 64 overall if you're dressed like this. I know the real coach not dressed like this, but come on, man. What is this outfit?
So this is
that don't say coach. This says hydration specialist. This says, boy, you better drink that water, boy. That's what this is.
The fit. Come on, man. Coach. As you can see, the last time that Ball
I gotta stop pausing this so much
in the season was
we never gonna get through this video.
So the expectations for me are not very high. All I have to do is win 4 games. The reason I want to take
you just gotta win 4 games.
Like this is I want to show you all the struggles that you might experience. Some of this stuff is going to be tuned a lot differently if you're taking over a much bigger program, so you can keep that in mind. But I do believe there's some stuff in your settings when you're setting up a dynasty that you don't want to miss. So if you don't want to get fired as a coach, you can turn. If you have a pre-order bonus, you can also turn that off so you don't get extra levels. If you want
pre-order
bonus, you can have it though. If you don't like the
if you pre-order the game, you can turn it off. What in the world?
Turn it off, and then if you have a pre-order bonus, you can also
dynasties. All y'all dynasties out there, if they pre-order, tell them to turn it off. They can't cheat.
Turn that off so you don't get extra levels. If you want it there, you can have it though. If you don't like the impacts of how wear and tear are affecting your dynasty, you can tune all of that.
I don't like this either.
You can also tune how many players transfer per year and the chance that they transfer. I feel like that's
like
you can have
being able to
players.
set
I only manually upgrade a few,
wear and tear.
So I end up just turning this all the way to 0. I turn it off, and then if you have a pre-order bonus,
keep it on. You want to keep that pre-order bonus on?
So turn that off so you don't get extra levels.
But
if you want it there, you can
like
have
this right here. Normal tackle impact. Catch tackle impact. Like I can understand hit stick and cut stick because you know hit stick you getting hit hard, cut stick you taking them legs out. I get it, but normal tackle impact and catch tackle impact, bro, that's crazy. Sack impact, like, bro, we playing football. What are we talking about?
No, if you don't like the impacts of
block impact. Okay, bro, that is just a part of football, bro. Okay.
How wear and tear are affected
per play recovery, per timeout recovery, between quarter, halftime, week to week.
In your dynasty, you can
wear and tear is going to be a problem.
You can tune all of that here. You can also tune how many players transfer per year and the chance that they transfer. I feel like that's important stuff to mention.
Wear and tear is going to be a problem.
Customization, but here is my biggest warning to you all. If you're looking at your roster at the beginning, be prepared to lose like all these players. As you can see in the default settings, we're only going to lose up to 20 players in the portal this year, but so many of these guys are going to want to leave, especially if we don't have a good season. If you go through the roster, at first, a lot of these players are going to have a deal breaker, even though they're currently currently at that school. This is intended so players are going to transfer around like they would in real life. And that can be scary. Our backup quarterback, our starter for next year, has a deal breaker for championship contender. So if we don't have a successful season, we know that Walter Taylor III is going to be gone, even though his skill caps
there go them skill points.
This is where manually upgrading your players can make a huge difference as well. So once you get to training results,
and then you can upgrade it yourself.
You're going to collect skill points, especially if they're playing well on the field. Most of it is based off of their dev traits. And there are categories that are super cheap to upgrade stuff, but if you look for other things like throw power, speed, it's going to be really expensive, so I think you want to focus in on a couple of things. What I've noticed so far is accuracy tends to be pretty cheap, so I would focus on upgrading your quarterback's accuracy first. IQ will also get their overall to go up if you can increase their awareness for cheap. That's just something to keep in mind, but let's go ahead. We're going to set our schedule before we get into recruiting. I don't think there's much that's changed about this, but the game should at least generate the schedule, home and away games, a lot better than
Alabama overall
year. As you can see as well, the team builder schools, you might notice a couple of these from
is that a 94?
That's changed about this, but the game should at least generate the schedule, home and away games, a lot better than it did last year. As you can see as well,
so when you start the Dynasty, Bama is a 94 overall. The list that I saw said that Bama was an 89 overall. Where the other points come from? 94s across the board? I guess it does say it's a work in progress, but they lied to us. I saw the list. It said that they was a 89, bro. They lied, Doobie. They lied. They lied. What is this?
The team builder schools, you might notice a couple of these from team builder series this past
Wait, are these new FCS teams?
Here, including my Stallions. I feel like I had to throw them on there. I don't think we're going to be able to win any games with Ball State. Even
God dang, your whole goddamn, what's the name, blanked out? You can't change nothing.
I want to see some actual gameplay before I get too deep into this Dynasty tutorial. That's why I think it's worth it to see how this first game goes against Purdue. For their runout, I've already heard it multiple times. They just blast a train horn. That makes sense, though. They're the Boilermakers. It going off constantly was actually starting to
89 was the badge levels.
And so far,
they got 89 people with badges. That's what it is.
We haven't had the best first quarter, but we could have given up a lot more points as well. So I'm just going to take that. Here on a 3rd and goal, though, we could get them off of the field.
All right, let's see. Bordeaux does not play against people.
Operate as a quarterback spy here in case they try and run.
Oh, that was a touchdown, sir.
We're solid. We're holding them to their 2nd field goal of the day. And the real question is going to be, can we score with Ball State? I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to. On a 3rd and 10, open receiver, middle of the field, we're getting some progress. The real issue is I just can't move the ball consistently. We have a play or two where we do well, and then we end up not doing well.
That's out of bounds.
There's been a lot of missed throws like that.
Yo!
That shouldn't have been accurate.
Darth is in here.
I'm going to be honest. This one might get out of hand, but you all can't be upset at me. Because
touchdown.
For 1, I can't tackle, and for 2, I'm using one of the lowest overall teams in the game. I'm going for it. It's 4th and 5. Our tight end's open. It's going to be on target. It's enough. If we're going to stay in this game, we are getting points
whooped by Purdue.
Oh, dang! Of the half. I also like the out of hurry up mode. I'm able to select any formation. That makes a major difference. I mean, your personnel might not match up with whatever formation you're trying to run.
Doobie, you gonna pre-order?
We can't escape.
I think Doobie say he pre-ordering, Darth.
Our quarterback, Khalil Kelly's already starting to have some wear and tear effects take place, but it's not too terrible. I mean, -3 speed, a little bit to accuracies. By the 4th quarter, though, you can see that he's definitely starting to feel the effects a little bit more. In fact, he took such a hard hit on that play. For this 4th and 10, we have our backup quarterback in, and he's feeling the pressure.
You're in 10-minute followers on the chat.
Just so we have an open receiver.
I am?
If they're able... This is just an embarrassing showing. I mean,
I've done killed.
Nothing in this game. What needs to happen is we need to get this ball back after stopping them on 3rd and 6. The problem is we have to wrap up and actually make a tackle, which we do.
Oh, you got smoked.
We got Mo Bamba blasting as well. Come on, man. Just let us have a little bit of success. We need to get out on the side.
He is on Heisman playing with Ball State, so...
Like, why is Purdue taking us so seriously at this point? We can't be your Super Bowl. That's it. This game's over. They're not pressing.
Yeah, it come out on the 7th. I think it really comes out on the 10th. but the early come out on the 7.
Yes, so we don't even stand a chance.
I think that's how I go.
Without running them on one of the sides. But if we playmaker, we might have a chance. Hang on. This is it. Keep going, Webster. Pitch it. You know, that definitely could have gone worse for as low of an overall team as we are. The mascot's in the crowd celebrating with the fans. I'll take a 19-0 game. Even though we let Devin Mockabee run all over us, again, it could have been like 42-0. I just have to hope as this video goes on, I can actually turn around Ball State. But if you want to see a little bit of the gameplay and some of the presentation, I got you. And let's get over to what's most likely the most overwhelming part of Dynasty for a lot of people, especially the new guys, recruiting. The type of players that you're able to go after all ties back into your school grades. So with Ball State, where we're struggling with a lot of these school grades,
I don't think Purdue is this low, though. Like 62, 64, and 61. I don't think Purdue is that low. Now, Bordeaux isn't like a actual, like, I'm about to beat you in this game type of player. So I could see him losing. I don't think Purdue is as bad as this right here, though. And then being on Heisman. So... they in the 70s. So it's like that's what I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt.
We're most likely only going to be able to go after guys like 1 and 2 stars, maybe some 3 stars.
Oh my gosh, their grades are horrible. F, D, C. So you basically got coach and what's that, facility? That might not be facility. Maybe that's facility. No, this facility. I'm in the way. This facility right here. I don't know what this one is, but. Dang, you ain't gonna be able to get nobody to come to Ball State.
You can write off the 4 and 5 stars. Meanwhile, if you're a school like Alabama, you can basically go after every prospect in the country. But if they care about academic prestige, that's their deal breaker, then you won't be able to pursue them. That's why you'll notice if you sort for just 5 stars and you're a tiny school, there's only going to be a few that would even consider going.
That boy can't get nobody.
You're going to have a hard time landing them, basically, unless they want proximity.
This is what I like too. This up top, it lets you know what the hell you need. You ain't gotta click the button down. It's right up here. Is right up here. I like that.
Or playing time, they're writing you off.
This boy needs 6 linebackers, 6 outside linebackers, 5 mics. Jesus Christ, boy.
There's only going to be a few that would even consider going to your program, and you're going to have a hard time landing them, basically, unless they want.
You got the 2 highest overalls on the game.
They're writing you off. Now, I do believe it's worth still taking a shot on a couple 4 stars, especially if they're near your school.
Ohio State go crazy, bro. Jeremiah Smith and what's your boy? The safety, Caleb Downs. Them 2. Jesus Christ.
And in the state of Indiana, we've been able to find a few players that are going to be close by who also care about playing time, so we have a better chance at getting them to come here. Outside of that,
so he can get some 4 stars.
The easiest way for you to start your dynasty, whether you're a big school or a small school, is search by minimum rating, 3 stars,
98
and then look for players that
bro.
have interest inside the
y'all cheating. That's all it is. Ohio State cheating.
Top 10. This should give you a list of guys that actually want to come to your school. And now we have to look over to that bottom right.
Of course, you can get all the. If we think
that we can give Chad Cutting a lot of playing time, then we should add him to our board. But we have to keep in mind, we don't give him that playing time, he's most likely going to transfer, and we don't want that. The biggest key to success in Dynasty this year is roster retention. So the deal breakers of the players that
Diggy, what up, man? If Ohio State go Michigan.
Your recruiting is more important than ever before. For example, I know our pro potential school grade's probably not going to stay at a C, especially the farther we get into Dynasty, so I'm not even going to go after this kid, because as he gets older, he's going to want a B grade, an A grade anyway. And what I don't want to do is develop somebody into like an 85 overall as a junior and then watch them leave to a bigger program. What I have found is if searching by deal breakers, the safest one is proximity to home, especially if you have a B grade or higher, because that's never going to change.
I feel like the best way to do a Ball State is definitely go proximity to home. You better get them close by first, because you ain't gonna get nobody. Like this boy from Texas, he ain't gonna want to come to you, bro. You have to get that boy out the portal.
School isn't gonna pick up locations and go somewhere else. Now,
where is Ball State? The rivalry is real. Where is Ball State, bro? Anybody know where Ball State at? I just like when the name of the school tells you where they at. Ball State. I would like, I don't know. Kentucky. I don't know where Ball State is. Matter of fact, let's find out what Ball State is. Where is Ball State? Indiana. Muncie, Indiana. Did not know that. Now we know Ball State is in Indiana. Baltimore. Baltimore. I mean, hey, that's a good one. I would have believed it if I didn't look it up. I was like, you know what? That makes sense to me. So they in Indiana. I just like when the college is just flat out tell you where it's at. Moving on.
Finding players that care about it is definitely not easy. So you're also going to want to sort for new guys that care about stuff like playing time. This guy right here, we have an A+ grade for his playing time. We should have him on our team. What we really need to focus in on though, and this is just going to go for looking for quarterbacks. You could say something like speed's going to be the same for halfbacks and receivers. Is while we're scouting them, we have to look at throw power and speed since those are the most expensive to upgrade. You're going to be able to purchase accuracy really cheap, but like 83 throw power is going to take a lot longer to develop while this guy already comes in with...
This is what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if you can get a 2-star, 3-star, and then by the time he get ready to like graduate, can you manually make him a monster? Proximity to your school affect how much it costs to schedule visits, from my understanding. Oh yeah. That they did say that. Like if they're close to your school, I mean, yeah, if they in the same area, it doesn't cost that much. But if you from California trying to get somebody from Florida, it's gonna cost more. So yeah. But I also like, cause recruiting gonna be big this year, especially if you can get a 2-star or 3-star gym. And then you can upgrade him to the point where he becomes a monster by his junior year or senior year. That's going to be clutch. That's going to be clutch.
89. So what we do is
But I'm pretty sure to get the points, you got to he got to play though. So he going to be playing, sorry. But if you can stick through it, you feel me? That is true too. Because they've upgraded that this year. He can potentially transfer to a bigger school. That's true too. So it might be harder to make the sorry schools big programs. Like I wonder how long it's gonna take for somebody to actually make a good program out of a sorry school. Cause if they're gonna upgrade while, you know what I'm saying, upgrade their deal breakers, and your school still ass, then like, dang, boy.
We just remove this guy off of our board. You might notice though, it's taking us 50 hours at a time just to fully scout somebody, and that's one of the negatives of not going down this recruiter tree. But the reason I'm not going down the recruiter tree is you have to become an elite recruiter if you want to be able to increase weekly hours for quarterbacks this year. The same goes for every single position.
So you can't increase the hours until you become an elite recruiter. $700 pass yards per game. Is that unless you set your schedule against those high program teams and beat them? We don't know, but this right here is different. You can't boost the hours you can give a quarterback until you become an elite recruiter. The sorry schools are going to suffer. That's crazy, bruh.
It is tier 4 of elite recruiter, which to unlock this, you have to become...
It says it right here, bruh. So you have to get all of these first, and then you'll be able to increase, bro. Oh my gosh. You know how long this is going to take to try to make a school like that, bro? Oh my gosh. That's a lot of points that you gotta get. Just this right here gonna be one season, bruh. Actually, this is gonna be like 1.5 seasons to get all of these, because the only way to get elite recruiter is if you even get the kicker one. That's not good. What in the world? Yeah, I know they increased it to level 100, but it's still like, unless you put the coaching, what's the name, all the way up, bro. This is not what. This is not doable in a season. You're not going to be able to increase for anybody, for any position. Because not only do you have to get elite recruiter, then you gotta buy all of these just to get this. Offense and defense. What?
An elite recruiter.
Oh my God.
If you want to be able to increase weekly hours for quarterbacks this year. The same goes for every single position. It is tier 4 of elite recruiter, which to unlock this, you have to sign 2 top 5 classes. So it just cost way too many coach points to put extra hours backs this year. The same goes for every single position. It is tier 4 of elite recruiter, which to unlock this, you have to sign 2 top 5 classes. So it just
to unlock it, you gotta get 2 top 5 classes. I think to unlock it, he has to get 2 top 5 classes because he chose motivator as a coach. So it's gonna take him 2 years to unlock this, but he has to get a top 5 class both times. How? If you choose a sorry school, just go ahead and choose recruiter. That's how you end that. Just choose recruiter out the gate, but it's still gonna take all these points, bruh. That's crazy.
Cost way too many coach points to put extra hours on players. And I'm not a huge fan of the benefits you would get by going down the recruiter pathway. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna look for a coordinator.
It does say it take less time still, but increased starting interest, running back transfers are more interested, increased chance of sway. That's cool. Yeah, that is him choosing motivator for Ball State was kind of bad, but that's still crazy. That's a lot of points that you got to use, bro. And then as you can see, because he chose motivator, they're not 5, they're 8. They're 8 points. It was 5 if you chose, it was 5 if you chose anything. But now they're 8 because he chose motivator.
And then once we get that, we'll be able to scout quicker. At the end of the year, you can fire your coordinators and then hire guys.
Fire all they ass. All y'all getting the fuck up out of here. Y'all ain't did shit since I got here. Fired.
Based off of the needs you want to fit. So if you look at our defensive coordinator at the moment, we're going to be able to scout defensive line.
Wait, he might not. Wait, he got some recruiter stuff. He might be saved for right now.
Linemen, linebackers, and even corners a lot quicker than the offensive position.
Oh, he just all defensive.
Again, you don't have to follow this advice, but my goal for how I'm going to rebuild programs is let the coordinator.
They all are 8, no matter what you choose. I guess because you can go up to level 100, so they just was like, well, we gonna make it harder for everything.
To be the recruiters, and then I'm gonna focus in on motivator. And
I think if you stack, you get a discount. If you and the coordinators got the same thing, I think when it stacks, then you get a discount. Because that's how it was in 25. So I don't know if they carried that over, but if y'all both are recruiters or whatever, it's a little discount on that.
And then eventually tactician to boost our ratings. Inside motivator,
you got Doobie Coach from last year.
If you can get to tier 3, you're going to be
all
able to get
defense.
An off-season training boost.
All defense
for all your players at that position.
Doobie, you was right. He's a motivator, and all these hoes 8. See, that's why I like sports. All you gotta do is wait. Sometimes somebody can make a claim, and then boom, it's gonna show every single time. All you gotta do is wait. Oh, this person's better than this person. Wait. And we gonna find out. Eventually, they're gonna have to play against each other. My dog say, I think all of them is 8, no matter what. Oh, there you go.
It's also going to help you level up a lot quicker. And listen, we're starting at the bottom here. It shouldn't be easy for us to take Ball State and turn them into a national championship
right about that.
in just a few years. I even want to go back to my Sam Houston file and point out that I wouldn't have been able to win it all with this team. I mean, we went undefeated and just finished the year
Who is this quarterback? And why is he a 94 overall? That boy like that.
Inside the top 12 after not making it to the playoffs originally. And you can see school grades like our conference prestige are dragging us down.
So this is another thing that I feel like if you win, you should get some type of points to boost your facility, boost your education, boost, you know what I'm saying? You should be able to boost these. Like you can upgrade everything else. Like how do you upgrade this? You gonna be gone mid-season. 94 on Sam Houston, I'm out of here. But yeah, you should be able to like increase it. Like it should be like, do you want to increase this? Like, yeah, we've been winning. Let me change up my stadium, bro. We got the last stadium. Let me upgrade that bitch.
They've made
maybe that's something in the future.
Some of the smallest programs and turn them into natty contenders. Don't even get me started on how I felt losing 20 players to the portal every year because they want to play for bigger.
20 players every year? Oh my gosh.
It's just going to be a painful process, but it's realistic college football. Don't worry though, there's still a lot of fun to be had. You're also going to notice the overall spread between the best teams and the worst teams is massive this year. Again, we're just going to search by this to start building out our board. You don't even have to search by interest. You can just go after players that aren't being recruited. And this is another tip. So after having a bad year, you might need to just search by recruit stage open, and if no schools are going after that player, they're easier to land. It's also pretty easy to track. Above the prospect list, you're going to see your team needs. So I know that we need to put at least one more receiver on our board, and we need to land him in order to fill that role.
And then when you click on them, once you target them, it switched up. I thought like they have to commit and then it'll go away. But once you click on them, then it'll go away like that.
If you hit the right bumper, you're going to be able to go over to the team.
We don't want to do that no more.
As well. They've added one more column, though, that it's pretty useful. It's called potential transfers.
Oh, my God. What? Did you can check and see if the person you recruited will be a potential transfer? Bro, I don't want to play this no more. What? So when you recruiting these fools... Bruh, when you recruiting these fools, it's gonna let you know, like, hey, you can get me right now, but I'm gonna slide. What? What are we doing? NIL messed up football, bro. Oh my gosh, bruh. And all of this is before you even load up a game, bruh. Position change. This wide receiver is now a linebacker. Stepping stone. Screw JUCO. Hey, I'm with you, bruh. What in the world, bruh? Listen, the wide receiver gonna try to transfer on me and Doobie. That boy gonna be an offensive lineman. Why is he 6'5", 220? He fast, but he can't block for shit. Bruh, why is this offensive lineman got sure hands?
If you look over here, you can see how many guys in each position group are potentially going to transfer out because they're not happy, their deal breakers are not being met, and this is going to add up over time. You're just going to have to expect especially as a small school if you don't plan on having much success at first, and being able to find those guys that you can retain no matter
that boy last name was awesome.
Add up over time. You're just going to have to expect having turnover.
That's a fire last name.
As a small school if you don't plan on having much success at first, and being able...
That dude last name is awesome. Left guard tunnel screen. Hey, man.
Find those guys that you can retain no matter.
Yeah, you never seen the tunnel screen to a left guard before until you change one.
Or what? I don't want to scare you too much.
Hey, Penn State playbook might have that bitch. Penn State playbook look crazy, bruh.
You end up taking
Penn
over
State
a bigger
actually
school,
might have
or
a
even
play for that.
medium-sized school and having decent success, it's probably not going to be as much of a struggle.
Unless he's sorry.
My thought process is simple. If you can learn from an example of using one of the worst schools in the game, then it's going to be very easy for you to apply this to whatever team you end up choosing for your first dynasty. I'm still really focusing in on trying to find guys with
boundary
to home.
What
They're pretty rare.
A boundary cornerback? What does that mean? Now it's boundary and field. So so field is left and boundary is right, or something like that? I just never seen that before. Who's the top boundary cornerback in the league? Like name the best boundary quarterback. Weak side, strong side. Okay. Yeah. Okay, I get it now.
Just don't bring in too many players at that position.
Yeah,
you also
technical term. Yeah, I just never heard that term before. Like that is, I just, like, literally all my football life, I never heard of boundary and field. Never.
Don't need to scroll down one by one to offer a scholarship to each player individually. If you want it to be a little bit quicker than doing this, what you're going to do is you're going to sort.
And look at this one. Look at the top. North-south receiver. We did straight back. Go this way, go that way. North-south receiver. Like, they got some new stuff in here, bro.
Or by players that still need a scholarship, and from here
we already got that speed rush. We got that.
It out.
Signal caller. That's a linebacker spot. Yeah, deep threat. Yeah. Signal caller at the linebacker spot, so he the one that's gonna be telling you what. That's like a field general, but I'm pretty sure they still got a field general. They got a lurker. That's your user right there.
Players without doing it this way.
Thumper, hit stick. They got some good names, but I like these names.
Hit that left stick. Now for your original board,
I like these names. Thumper.
What I've done,
I just want a team full of thumpers.
Is I've just thrown
can't guard the pass for nothing, but if you catch it though,
guys on there, especially
I flick that hit stick. It's up.
Later in the year, corners are a little bit harder to find, so I've put them on there. Offensive linemen as well.
Well-rounded left guard.
Sometimes that can be hard.
Agile pass protector. Speedster.
A lot of these players. Now I have the speeds. Because I sense
no.
are a little bit harder to find.
Hold on.
Put them on
there.
Do
it again.
Offensive linemen as well.
Let me see this.
That can be hard to get. And we're just gonna send it with a lot of these players. Now,
get this out of here. Ain't no speedster with his speed. Not even at the end of this goddamn attribute. Do they not know what speedster means? No. What you mean by speedster if this bar ain't at the end of this? I don't like that.
Now I have a speedster wide receiver.
Oh wait, it did go. Never mind. I lied.
I want to look into.
Nope, it went back down. It better be fast. He better be fast.
Builds.
Bruh. 83 speed and he's a speedster? Get out of here, bro. Speedster, don't put speed in the name and it's an 83. He must think he fast. He must think fast. Yep. He must think fast. That's it. I can tell you what the play is before you say it, coach. Maybe you better have that playing speed. Hey, listen, bro. I don't get this. 83 speed, deep route of 80, 77 release. He's going nowhere. I'm an 83 speed. If I run full speed right now, I'm an 83 speed. I might not be 83. I might be actually fascinated. I might be short changing myself. I just don't remember the last time I ran full speed. But no practice, no stretching. I'm 83 speed right now. And him coming out of high school, 83 speed, call himself a speedster. How slow is everybody else that you playing against? Oh, adrenaline badge, mental. I never seen this before. Adrenaline mental. Don't know what that means, but he got it.
But if this...
That's why he fast. Because of adrenaline. His acceleration is high though. He can get to that top speed very quickly, but it ain't that fast though. You're not going nowhere.
Kid's a bust.
And he was a bust, so he lied on his resume.
He is 83 speed. He's getting removed. This contested
he's getting removed.
Specialist only is 83 speed.
Contested specialist. That's a new archetype.
Speed as well, so he's not somebody that I really want. I still want to prove that you have a chance at landing 4 stars even with the smallest of schools though, maybe 5 stars if you're lucky with location, so we're going to focus in on Caleb Gideon. As we advance the week, it's just going to give us some recruiting updates like it would last year. We can see how many players are going to be transferring out of our program. We can have up to 20 players leave at a time. And as you can see, this is why I said just expect those first few years. If you're at a small team, you're probably going to lose 20 guys a season. I just went through and calculated it. There are 53 players that could potentially transfer unless we end up having a lot of success this year with the Cardinals. And my philosophy for recruiting is pretty simple. I just send the house on a few prospects that I want. I don't split up the points in any way. This is how I've always handled my board. You can do it in a different method.
And the fact that he can't increase them points, bruh. That's gonna be tough. If anybody want them players and they can send anything more than 50, you lost them.
At the end of the day, figure out what works for you. We're probably not going to win these battles for these 4 stars.
You ain't winning nothing, sir.
A chance anyway, since they really seem to care about playing time and proximity to home. And they're all from Indiana, so maybe one of their parents attended Ball State and they want to play for us too. Now, I do want to point out, before we get into...
Oh, let me know. Yo, Jones, what's good, bro? Everybody in that bit today. Dude, be Darth Jones. Diggy was in here. I don't know if he left or not. But we watching this video of this college football 26 Dynasty, dog.
Simming most of these games, it is very important.
Are you headed to a job? Hey, man, do your thing, bro.
Rocking with. I'm not saying there aren't other ones you...
I'm up early with it today. I ain't have to go to work, so...
can have success with. If you have a good enough team, it really...
might do it tomorrow, too, depending on how I'm feeling or whatever. The little Wolverine
doesn't matter, but we're trying to optimize as much as we can. So one thing I've noticed is the 4-2-5 in sim plays pretty well. Another thing I've picked up on is the spread, the power spread, air raid, and then most importantly, veer and shoot tend to do very well too. What that means is even as a Kentucky fan, as much as I don't like Tennessee and as much as I'm not a fan of running.
Oh, so he's basically... because he not going to play these games, so he going to sim, and the best sim is 4-2-5 defense and Tennessee playbook.
I do want to run with that for at least this video, just to see how we do. We are going to throw the ball a lot this year, and that's important to keep in mind for players that you're trying to retain based on playing style, and also for players that you're recruiting. For Kelly, it doesn't matter that much, and he's probably not going to do great in this system. He is 55 throw under pressure, but somebody like freshman Bodie Darer, if we want him to stick around more, he cares about playing style here. We have to be able to throw for a lot. What I'm doing though, by focusing on throwing the football, is saying that Ashley can just transfer out. He cares about playing style, but we're not going to be able to retain him because he's not going to get enough carries or rushing yards this season. A couple of these wide receivers are going to be more likely to stick around though.
Look how slow these receivers is, bruh. 84, 87, 84, 89, 85, 87, 88.
And you can just see, if he's a 54 overall, you only need a D+ grade in playing style for them not to transfer out. It really varies based off of how old...
He did say he was a Kentucky fan, but he got Anthony Richardson jersey in the back, bruh. That's crazy.
Players are and what their overall is.
That's crazy. He do got Anthony Richardson back there. He said, I'm a Kentucky fan.
Keep that in mind when upgrading players.
Are you?
If you focus on some of the stats that are going to boost their overall too quickly, they're going to demand a lot more out of you and most likely transfer. I'm telling you, as somebody that had an 85 overall...
Look at that. There you go right there. Anthony Richardson in the background. Got Devin Hester right here. If that's a Florida State jersey right behind his head, bruh, you can't have Hester next to a... That better not be, bruh. You can't have Miami Hester next to a goddamn Florida State jersey, bro. That's crazy.
Quarterback transfer out, and then the next year, another 85 overall quarterback.
If I get a glimpse of it, I
felt the pain already. I'm trying to help you all not go through that same process. What's becoming very clear to me is the farther we get in recruiting, there are some of these prospects that we're just not going to be able to land. I'd say the most important thing that you can focus on, the most important thing that you can learn is when to pull out.
It is. He uses FSU in the game. That could be a thing, my brother. Hey, tier 1 sub, Jones. I got a tier 1. I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
To send the house, we're not going to be able to beat out Indiana. We can't hard sell or sway because these school grades are awful, and that's where you got to know when to pull out. We're just going to take the 4-star off of our board.
That's a crazy phrase. You got to know when to pull out.
We continue to send the house. We're not going to be able to beat out Indiana. We can't hard sell or sway because these school grades are awful.
Hey, gifted one. Turn up.
We're just
gifted
take
subs.
The 4-star off of our board. As for these other 2 4-stars, we're going to continue to track them throughout the year. I want to point out something exciting though. So
I'm on my way.
Completely reworked. This kid from Indiana.
Now Diggy is a subscriber because he gifted
now, if I find somebody from California, which is on the opposite side of the U.S. It's not near Ohio. You're not going to be able to see it yet, but it would cost 40 points to schedule him for a visit. It's all based on the cost and the resources it would take to get a kid out there for a game. It's easy for this kid to drive down the road, so it doesn't cost as many hours, and that's why we're going to schedule him against.
Okay, that's that visit thing.
It's all based on the cost and the resources it would take to get a kid out there for
so
a
it
game.
Only costs 10
for this kid to drive down.
Oh, that's clutch. It only costs 10 because he's from Indiana and he just traveling to Indiana. So he ain't got he got to go down the street real quick to watch this game. So that's clutch. That's only 10 points. Usually it's what, 40? It's usually 40
down the road, so it doesn't cost as many hours, and that's why we're going to schedule him against
this FCS
school. What you want to do is pitch one of their 3 main interests. We know that playing time is one of them because it's his deal breaker, so that's why we're going to pitch playing time.
Scheduled visit
since we're about to play number
40,
24 Auburn, we're probably just going to continue to lose. I'm trying to hold your all's hand through the same pain I went through.
Oh my gosh, look at everybody that's leaving, bro.
So many.
Nobody want to go through the struggle no more.
Guys entering the portal, especially if you're not having success. Again, if it's something that you don't like, you can wimp out. You can turn down how many...
You can cheat. Don't cheat, y'all. Don't cheat. We don't want to cheat. Don't cheat.
Players are able to transfer maximum per team, or you can turn it up to 30 if you really want to make things challenging and interesting. This is why I'm so excited to do my first rebuild series in a little bit, but you can see we're gaining on Sean Carr. He would be an amazing middle linebacker for us to use, and we're also getting up to first place for this right guard. That's
he finna take this right guard from Indiana.
4-star. As for when to hard sell versus send the house on players, when should you do it? When is it more beneficial to gain more recruiting hours, or it's not worth your time? Just from experience, if you have school grades like this, it's not really worth it. It's about the exact same as send the house, but if you have 2 really positive school grades, like an A for playing time and an A for pro potential, you should probably do a hard sell. There's a whole math calculation on the best time to hard sell versus send the house that I could get into. I'm not going to bore you all with that. Basically, if you don't have multiple grades that are A's, just send the house. Let's just say that we're in a tight battle with somebody else for town sell though, and we want to be able to hard sell later on to beat them out. This is when you're going to use sway. As you can see, it'll visually tell you what the success
all right, that's better. Now it tells you what you can do with the sway, like what happens when you sway somebody. So this is better. So you have a low chance of trying it with 3 X's, medium 1 and 2 with what's the name. Okay, I like that.
Is of it working in that given week. If you're just
also it's lit up in green if your player is a top 5.
Sway them on one extra grade. It's not going to be hard, but I need to sway them on 2 different things for him to change up his hard sell. It's got a medium success rate. It's probably not going to work this week, but this would make it to where we could hard sell and then be able to get him quicker. I do truly feel like the best part about rebuilding some of these smaller schools, though, is you don't have to worry too much about pitches or any of that. It's normally just easiest to keep send the house on them. And
don't even got to worry about none of that. Send the house, get out of here.
School. My former team builder team, I sure hope that we do. Just because I want to see the Southern Kentucky Stallions
FCS Northwest Stallions.
But I do want to focus most of this video on the team building aspect tips I have for Dynasty. If you're looking for gameplay advice from me, you're asking the wrong person. At least we can watch a new Ball State run out though. For a lot of these smaller schools, they changed up how they're coming, and you can see we got the band playing in the background. there is my team builder team.
I'm gonna make FAMU
Going into
again.
this week, we had guys on a visit, so winning this is very important. We're in the second quarter now, and you're able to see that it's already gotten darker. That's the dynamic lighting going into work. I'm also gonna try and make a play with Kelly here.
If he got out of that
pocket like this, we're gonna be just fine. I mean, the kid's got 87 speed.
Get down, boy.
We knew that he was a stud. I'm just gonna throw for a touchdown most likely here as well. We got to run through him. We get in, and from this point, our fans are happy. It's not the same generic fans over and over. That same guy being at the game
Eric Weatherly
for every team. I know you all have to remember that. Even though there were some misses with this game, especially
he don't look like no coach, bro. He look like a trainer.
With what we've gotten. Did you see my coach in the celebration right there? We're dripped out. For these 2 3-stars as well that were on a visit this week, this should greatly help in getting them to actually commit to our school. I mean, they're going to either way.
No, they I seen it on the
and you can see.
I seen it on the on one of the trailers, but I haven't seen like a full light show. I seen like when they, you know, they just flash it real quick and show it, but I haven't seen like if you're talking about like a full pregame light show. No, I haven't seen that yet.
Like, you probably want to know what it's going to feel like when you're playing college football 26 this year. I mean, this is what the night shows are going to look like at Bryant-Denny Stadium. We're coming out in the tunnel here.
Yeah, they worked on presentation a lot, bro.
Out in the tunnel onto the field. That's pretty similar to this. I should probably pop that.
They worked on presentation a lot.
Give a little smack.
Did he just smack the?
And as
okay. All right, back to this video over here.
To beat them, we would get some major bonuses. Visits are going to be massive in this game, especially since they're cheaper, but we didn't get a successful sway. I'm just going to go back to sending the house so we can close out the battle. And when it comes to these 2 4-stars, for Jamal Asher, the right guard, it's not going to make sense to hard sell on him because, as you can see, 2 of his interest, we do not have school grades in. When we look at Sean Carr, though, we're in an interesting spot.
Like, I'm trying to click on the video, he up there smacking the elephant. Man, come on, man.
On him a week. This is where knowing what bonuses your coordinators offer you could be very crucial, because apparently Jeff Knowles has elite recruiter, and for the linebacker position, he increases weekly recruiting hours for them. We just really increased our odds of signing a 4-star at Ball State, but we're also going to put him on a visit against Ohio. We're hopefully going to win that game and see if we can get him. I put every other player on our board that we're targeting on a visit for that week, so if we mess that game up, we're going to be in trouble. It's not like we're winning much, though.
They getting smoked, or they got smoked by UConn.
So we continue to struggle. During this process, we have been
all
able
these
to level
emotes.
up, so we're going to go
all these emotes in my shit, or you already got these emotes.
Get these off-season training boosts. I think it's.
I don't know what I got on my page.
We're going to run an air raid offense. If
I don't know what I got on my page.
Throwing the ball a lot. What we're going to do is we're going to get a boost to wide receivers and tight ends as well. I also see Indiana potentially gaining on us for Sean Carr. So what we're going to do is we're going to try a sway again.
Oh, see, I gotta put some. I don't even. Oh, that's a GG. Yeah, I gotta put some emojis and emotes on my stuff, man.
Hard sell on him. And just from the looks of it, Southern Miss is gaining on
fix a lot
wide receiver
of stuff.
Isaac Scruggs, who is a 3-star I'd like to have. There's not much we can do though besides just sitting back, hoping for the best. We have signed our first commit, and from the looks of it, the sway ended up working, so we are now able to take this off and actually put a hard sell on Sean Carr. I'm really not sure if it was worth it for the week because our playing style dropped down to a D+. This pitch isn't great, but I'm hoping it's enough to beat out Indiana, especially if we beat Ohio. I mean, this is everything for us. We dropped this game to the Bearcats. The rest of the year in our recruiting class is going to be looking pretty rough. And I was hoping for a night game. It looks like it's going to be ranked.
What's crazy is there's 2 teams on here that just got added, and they're worse than Ball State. They need to put our HBCUs in this thing, man.
Which is not.
Maybe that can be the selling point for NCAA 27. Put the HBCUs in here. Get FAMU in here.
Ideal. As you can see, this is starting in the.
But they got to do FAMU right. Because you know we going to be asking, do they got the band right? Because if they don't got the band right, don't even put us in here. We got to have a band right.
That later window, so by the end of this game, it's going to be dark. And just look at us over on the sidelines, hands on the knees.
Hands on the knees.
What I typically end up doing is I just sim to the moments and I play some of the fun stuff that can make a difference. See if we're able to take down Ohio. But it turns out, unfortunately, we were not
getting the marching 100 is mandatory.
They were just the better team there. So we're going to lose to the Bearcats and not get any bonuses from those visits. That's actually good, though. We need some pushback in this dynasty. Not everything can go perfectly for us. to our visit
Get
bonuses.
smoked if you want to. Them boys is leaving
at the end of this week, and I highly doubt we're going to be able to close it out, but we might get a recruiting battle. We also fell behind on Jamal Asher. The 4 stars most likely aren't going to happen in this class. We're not going to get this 3-star receiver, and I'm pretty sure from this moment you're just going to see our school continue to struggle. Here's the thing though, I think Ball State is the 3rd worst team in this game. That's who we've started with.
Dang,
and we still had a chance of getting a 4-star, especially if we won. We even picked up a win against Western Michigan, going to 2-4, so we don't have as low of a championship contender grade now. We still have so many players threatening to transfer though. And I just want to get to the end of this first season. If we win on Sean Carr, wonderful. We're going to have to cut our losses with Jamal Asher. He's just not
get him up out of there.
The same is true for Isaac Scruggs. We're taking him off of our board, but what did I say? You want to go after players that other schools aren't recruiting because that makes it so much easier to land on. I'd argue with some of the tips that I'm going to give you as well, you could go into the transfer portal period with a class of 0 players and come out of it with 35. So your season's not over if you struggle with recruiting. All you should do is focus on getting better at it. We're going to continue to sim. We can actually sim multiple weeks at a time if we wanted. We're not going to do that yet because I'm curious about the battle for the 4-star. But once we sign him, I'm done with this season. I don't care about anything else, and we've done it. We brought in all season. Nothing makes me happier than seeing this screen, though I will say, if you have too many players committing in a week, especially at the end of the transfer portal window, there's a solution. We'll get to that eventually as well. Back-to-back wins, though, where we're putting up a lot of points, so we're doing decent in conference play. We'll see how we finish out this season. And just the tiniest of quality of life things that makes me so happy is when you go into conference standings, it actually jumps to the conference that you're competing in. For the rest of this season, more expensive to purchase it in the first place. You're going to have to spend 20 to do that on each one. If I ended up purchasing Tactician, what I think you'd notice is Recruiter now costs 30. And that was a waste of 20 points since I need to be going down this Motivator tab anyway, getting to tier 3 so we get off-season training boosts. There's still a chance that we could make a bowl game, but I'm not going to hope on it too much because we'd have to beat one of these 2 final teams on the road. Miami and Toledo are typically pretty good in the MAC conference. And I would say we're out of the running to make it to the conference championship, but you never know what could happen. I do feel like some of the text and stuff is really small this year though. It's harder to read. If you're sitting 20 feet back on your couch, I don't think you can do it. You're going to be like squinting unless you got perfect vision. As for how things are going on the recruiting side of things, none of these players have flipped their commitment because if you look at their deal breaker, we still have the right school grade for them to not want to switch up on us. We're also in first place for all these 3 stars that we've been going after. But is you gonna get them though? And I'm ready to get into future seasons. So we're gonna sim to week 15, where I think we can start to fire our coordinators and build out the coaching staff that we want. Well, we ended up bringing in a few more signings, but if we go to the bottom of our board, you're gonna see the very first recruiting battle.
Oh, recruiting battle! This is something that's new. This is something that's new. They added this. If you close with somebody, y'all gonna go into a recruiting battle now.
Last year in Dynasty,
I don't know what happens
ended up tying with a team reaching that commitment status at the same moment. It would just go to the team with the higher prestige. That's where the recruit would commit. This year, though, you get into a recruiting battle where you continue to throw resources at that player, and we have nothing else to offer. You just keep it going. We just have to hope that we can edge out Bowling Green by sending the house. I also should have pointed out mid-season, if we ended up searching by open recruits and we even looked for 4 stars, there would have been guys that we could potentially add to our board. They don't exist at the end of the year. But if you go over to the filter, you do it for 3 stars. This is where you can find more players, especially if you can get a deal breaker with proximity to home or playing time. I honestly don't even mind playing style for positions like receiver since we're going to throw the ball a lot. I don't think they're going to end up transferring. I just can't put enough emphasis on how important it is to focus on the dynamic deal breakers this year though. If you don't, you're going to end up heartbroken. I'm sure it's still going to happen to me in this video. I'm going to build up a guy and then watch him leave on us because he wants to play for a bigger program. It hurts. As you can see too, we finished 5-7, so we're not making it to a bowl. We were just below the cutoff. There were a lot of teams in the MAC this year that were below that cutoff as well. And no matter what we did with Kelly, he was going to transfer out due to championship contender. I'm curious about our backup Taylor though. Walter Taylor, championship contender grades low. He's also leaving. Our only hope is with these players that want to leave. East-West playmaker. That's a new archetype. Out, since that's the limit we have set for this dynasty. And we're still picking up commits as we get into the end of this season. Like I said, with my coach, I want to focus on motivator, then eventually getting over to tactician. But if we're looking at our offensive and defensive coordinators, I need these guys to be bigger recruiters, which means we need to fire Craig Harmon. I don't want to get rid of Jeff Knowles just because he gives us benefits for recruiting defensive linemen and linebackers, especially linebackers. So we are going to actually extend him, and then whenever it comes around to this guy, I'm sorry, you got to go. As for the Heisman winner, we have Jerry.
Well, there you have it. I told you they cheating, bro. Look who's the Heisman winner. Look who's the Heisman winner. Cheating. That's what I see right now. Cheating. 129 receptions, almost 2,000 yards and 18 touchdowns, almost 20 touchdowns. Jeremiah Smith. Heisman.
Jeremiah Smith going off. I mean, he's going to be the best receiver in college football, so I'm not surprised by it. And
right, down there somewhere. That's all they was doing.
I do want to talk about the job offers.
That's all they was doing.
I don't think they mentioned it in a trailer or deep dive, but they worked on this a little bit. When I was with Sam Houston, I was checking it every year. The logic with it seemed to be better, but I don't like that you can still only have like 4 job offers at once. After going 14-0 with Sam Houston, I even had a job offer from Ohio State, which I'm not sure would happen in real life, but it's more realistic than it was last year. At least we had head coach job offers. I am sure it won't be perfect for everybody, but
don't remind me, bro. He might lose. He might leave as a junior. He actually might leave as a junior. Somebody gonna tell him like, bro, you can't go no higher than this. He might leave y'all as a junior. I want him to leave y'all as a junior. I want him to leave y'all as a junior.
But at
get
least
up out of here.
Let's go ahead and see who we can hire as our offensive coordinator. And Joe Moorhead is a level 31, so he seems to be the best fit. He has a little bit.
And these are real coaches,
and we can't view which things are filled up. Remember, this is a work in progress build. That's something that I think they want to have functioning at some point this year, or it should at launch. But for now, either way, he's the best that we're gonna get, and let's just hope that his recruiter tree is pretty solid. It is so nice that we actually know when coordinators accept the job offers.
Okay, so yeah, we on the
Joe
same.
Moorhead is a part of our staff. During this time of year, there's not much else that's gonna go on for us, but I always like to
y'all
check
got him
out
this year
how
coming
stats
up,
are
next year
generating
after
across
that,
the
and he
country.
might slide.
USF's offense with Byron Brown seems to do pretty well during sim, and the rushing totals, especially on the
East-West playmaker, utility back,
looks so much
elusive bruiser,
better than
elusive bruiser. So he got jukes and he'll run you over. That's crazy.
Heisman winner Jeremiah Smith has also been able to cross over the 2,000 receiving yard
route artist.
Eventually in this video, we should at least fill up this trophy room with a few things. I told you all, my main goal is just get this team into the playoffs. And we are closing in on the period where players are going to leave.
They finna leave your ass.
About to enter the portal. I know that we're having 20 guys go. It looks like Carson Beck was able to lead my...
This is who okay. Florida was number 6 and we lost to Michigan. Never. Memphis was in here. Duke. Jaden Ball. Hey. You right. That is an elusive bruiser. Duke beats Indiana. Duke is a basketball school. Come on, man. Let's get realistic. Then they got Miami beating Texas Tech. I can see that. USC beating Clemson. I don't know. Oregon beating Michigan. Yeah, I can see that. Georgia beating Duke, of course. Oregon beating Georgia. Miami beating USC. And then Miami winning the whole thing. Nah, I don't see that at all. I don't see Miami winning the whole thing. Can they beat Oregon though? Carson Beck? Nah, they can't beat Oregon. Nah.
Miami to a national championship.
Oregon has a cupcake
Ohio
schedule.
State.
They do? I gotta look at everybody's schedules. But they have made it to where, like, it's like this. If you're in a big conference, you play sorry teams, you gonna be straight. That's how they have it. They don't have it to where you have to play somebody. It's just like you put 1 or 2 good people on the schedule and you straight. Like, I don't like that. Especially coming from I'm a Florida guy, and you see what our schedule look like. You know what I'm saying? Our schedule look like we got the number 1 toughest schedule again going into next year. So it's like we doing this, but everybody else, you know what I'm saying? Like, Like, come on. Now everybody looking at us, they be, oh well, they're gonna be better this year. They better be in the playoffs. Do y'all not see what our schedule look like? The schedule don't matter no more. They better do it, or it's a bust of a season. Really? With everybody on our shit? Like, come on. We got people that are in a powerhouse conference that got way sorrier schedules and be losing with them schedules, and they still be ranked higher than us. That, man, don't get me started.
Didn't even make it to the playoffs, actually. But they had the Heisman winner, so maybe awards are more based off of stats this time around. You can see all the history tracking as well. It is so refreshing that there is some stat tracking and history tracking in this game. This history tracking can also tell us everything going on in the country. So Memphis's head coach has gone to Florida State. We have Matt Campbell going from Iowa State to Nebraska. And I had to figure out what happened with Mike Norvell. He got fired by the Seminoles.
Oh, Mike Norvell is a program builder.
By the way, if you want to see how some conferences have shifted and changed over time, you can search conference champions by conference. So if we look at something like
he be getting recruits though. He be getting a bunch of recruits.
Plethora of teams here that no longer belong to Conference USA. Like Louisville was able to win it in 2004. I was literally an infant back then. I barely remember that they used to be a part of it. Let's see who is transferring though, getting over to players.
Watch how many people leaving.
How bad is it going to be? God. We're losing Ashley, our best player. You know, even though he's a former 1-star, that is a real shame. He just didn't like our playing style. We doubled down on it, despite knowing that we would have been able to upgrade stuff like Shifty and 360.
Oh, there's
we
the
don't even have a
upgrades.
chance at persuading him
how many
to come
people
back.
did you lose?
We only have 2 persuasions because we're a very small school. But I think what we should do is we should use them on some.
He lost so many people. He good, but his ass on the hot seat. Wait, only team that got to worry about is Penn State. Then the bottom half of the big team. Yep, that's how Oregon set up. He good, but his ass on the hot seat. Listen, after a season like that, only 2 wins, boy. It's gonna get a little creepy over there. Out here in Tallahassee. You can't double up with 2 bad seasons.
And we have a low chance at getting him.
You can't double up that. You double up that.
Maybe we get Jalen Jones. No.
I think anybody will
we also
let coach go after that.
So Ball State's losing like 40 players from a team that went 5-7. And you might be like, oh, you got lucky with some of these other players that didn't end up transferring out. Well, here's what's going to happen. Next year,
they're just going to be still on there.
They're just going to leave in the portal then. I've only had the game for a few days, so I don't know what the experience would be like if I was a mid-table Big Ten team or if I was out there winning championships. You probably don't lose that many players, man. Especially
2 wins is crazy. 2 wins is crazy. 2 wins is crazy
compared to this. But if you are at the bottom of college football,
how do you even get motivated to play with 2 wins, bro? That's tough.
Like we currently are with Ball State, then you are going to struggle, and that's how a rebuild should be. Just from looking at our board, though, because we were able to sign a 4-star,
we're gonna see what he's gonna do in this second year. This video is long. We just only made it 30 minutes.
We just need to retain these.
How long the stream been going?
Our program. That is going to be the real
stream been going for an hour and 33.
The portal is going to be that useful to us because there's no 3-stars that are interested in.
I probably won't even put this on YouTube though. I might try to clip some stuff out of here,
but it just doesn't hit the same.
And put it on my YouTube Shorts page.
Is going to be searching for minimum 3-star rating and then those players that are still at the open stage. As I look through these prospects, I want to fill up those team needs at the top of our board. If we can offer somebody like this playing time, especially a contact seeker, I want to bring him on. I also want to give out a little tip for offensive linemen. Anything besides raw strength as an archetype is good. It's just with raw strength, it's so expensive to upgrade every stat. Now that I've started to build out my recruiting board,
that's probably what I do. I still put this on YouTube. I just got to edit.
Put limited points into them, offer a scholarship, hopefully jump up to first place and get these guys to sign without putting too many hours in. We can also do that in the transfer portal. You just need to be careful about the guys that you're offering with their deal breakers because they'll most likely leave your school for the same thing. Just think about it. If a player isn't loyal in the first place, do you really think they're going to come to your school and be loyal again, especially if you can't offer a 2-star playing time? No, they're going to be gone, but it can be helpful to filling up your roster and their overall...
Bro, the transfer side of this is, man, oh my gosh.
will go up during.
They're just gonna let you know, like, hey, I'm leaving. Fool.
What I like to start with is transfers that have us inside their top 3, especially if they're freshmen, because that means they're going to be around for a lot longer. After that, we'll change top 3 to top 5, then we'll go top 5 to top 10. It's just a simple process. We're going to try and fill up some of our team needs. We need 7 outside linebackers, and that's just not happening. But I think we've done enough for this week. I'm putting 10 points into all these guys. If there's any competition, what's going to happen is I'm just going to remove them from our board. Okay, so after advancing a week, we have been able to get a couple commits. That is nice and all, but more importantly, you're noticing there are players that I'm putting no hours into. Because we're in a lead, they will automatically commit at the end of the transfer portal period without us having to put any extra effort into getting them. When we see guys like Quentin Mayweather, though, West Virginia, I can't compete with them.
You ain't, take them off
of our board. It's just not worth our time. This is what we're looking for. No other school is going after these guys.
They actually are putting a cap on it, I think this year or next year. So every college gonna have, I think they said 20 mil is the cap. But yeah, they should have started it off with a cap. They probably didn't think that these colleges was gonna actually like spend a lot of bread on people, but yeah. 25, yeah. So that's where they messed up. They probably thought like these colleges wasn't gonna like actually spend bread on these students or whatever, but you must not know. They found out very quickly. These colleges, they do not give a fuck about none of that money stuff. We spending everything. You thought we was spending money illegally. Now you made it legal? Oh yeah, we spending bread.
For a lot of these 10 hours,
I like it though. I like that they're gonna put a cap on it.
Lock in that I'm gonna get them.
That's
no
why.
matter what.
That's why Nick Saban said, "Fuck all this." That's why he got up out of here. He was like, "I ain't competing with this," because you're gonna have players that are second string, third string, asking for first string money, bruh. Like, no, you're not getting this money, bruh. But that's what they doing. Hey man, I come to your school for about $250,000. What position you play? Oh, I'm the holder. I hold the football. Like what? I'm the placeholder. No, bro. No, you're not getting no money from what? That's how they do, bro.
Which is nice to see, but if we have competition, I might decide to run from it. We really just want to focus in on signing those players that other schools are not going after. I'm gonna be honest as well, for wide receivers, I feel like playing style is such a good one, because if you go for playing time, you have to make sure that guy gets on the field.
They got another one, a gadget receiver. That's the ones that's like a Debo Samuels. Gadget guy.
If you go for playing style, you just have to pass for a lot of yards. It's also nice if you are able to get speedster wide receivers, but I feel like there's not many left that are still going to be in the open recruiting stage by this point in the year. There's none. You can also have a lot of fun with these gadget receivers. Like Darryl Swift is 5'9", 190 pounds, but he might not play receiver for us. He could come in and be a running back. Gadget receivers can also throw the ball a bit. I've already tested
That's a Percy Harvin. Gadget guys,
their accuracy skill caps are far too low, so you're not going to be able to progress them as a QB if you wanted to try it. But I am sure at some point this year, we'll find an exploit or two. We'll find our way around the system.
Pure blocker.
You might notice I don't have a single
that was a tight end. It was a pure blocker.
The reason for this isn't just because team needs says we don't need one. It's
oh my gosh, his overall drop.
Don't recruit anybody on the special team side of things. They'll get us a 3-star walk-on that's going to be pretty solid. In fact, I'd argue that special teams players, once they walk on, have some high potential as well, because we can manually upgrade their kick power and kick accuracy. Kickers and punters can be very good in this game, but is that going to matter when we have a 57 overall roster? I'm trying my best here during this transfer portal period. We are also going to continue to go down the motivator pathway. We have the train boost coming from the offseason soon. And if I can tell that we're going to win on a player like Christian Gann, no one else is going after him.
And you get the pads and had the jersey over the pads with the little neck thing.
As we head into the final week, it's looking like there's one player we might not sign, but I think we're going to get a class of 34 players. I'm really
Is this second year? Okay, this is second year.
Through what I do in recruiting, it can help for your dynasty.
I think it's second year.
I'm hoping you can beat your friends the transfer portal. Online dynasty, crush them. If you aren't in online dynasty, especially with your friends, I would encourage you to do it this year, especially with crossplay, because those are so much fun. Like if we go back to this clip right here, this is from College Football 25, but I ended up catching a Hail Mary in the final seconds and then you can do trying to find players to recruit that other schools aren't targeting. We're going to see how many I was able to sign. There's going to be a lot of these screens.
Caleb
and since
Gillikin.
There's not a button for us to just skip through every single one. The best way to
shout out everybody that's in here, man.
I'm not kidding. If you make a lot of signings, restarting your game is the fastest way to get through it. You don't have to listen to me, but I am
shout out everybody that's in here, man.
Gone through it multiple times.
I gotta change some settings.
Day, we can.
It says I got about 600 people in here. I got 6 people in here, but I gotta change some of my settings. I apologize if you're in here and you want to say something and you can't because you're not a follower or something like that. I gotta change up my settings. I haven't been on here in a minute, so I gotta go through my settings and change a lot of my stuff. So we gonna figure that out, and we're gonna be back. Almost at I'm almost at 1,000, boy. You see me? Almost at 1,000, boy. Hey, you know what I'm talking about? I'm almost there.
Finally, check the dev traits of these players and see who committed. Like I said, I thought I was gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through my stream manager and stuff, and I'm gonna do that like when I'm done streaming, and I'm gonna go through it and change everything.
Now you're gonna be able to see their dev.
I gotta change a lot of stuff on here. Like some of the ads, I don't know if y'all been seeing ads or not, but I don't know how many ads are showing. I know that it said every hour they were gonna show ads on here, but I gotta change. Like I gotta go through all these settings. I didn't really change anything because remember I took a break from like streaming and stuff on my on this channel. So it's like I gotta go through it again and find everything and change everything so it's set up the correct way. You know what I'm saying? So.
Player cards, which is a nice touch. I'm
so
just
it won't
seeing
be,
a lot of impacts in normal. And we even had normal on Sean Carr, unfortunately. But I did find a couple with Star Dev, a right guard, and then a middle linebacker.
Good.
That is.
I can't completely turn the ads off, but I can change how often they are played. So that's good.
The reason that is so disappointing is
if it only popped up once, that's good.
Ever before.
So it is every hour.
How fast you're going to acquire skill points. If you want to upgrade your players fast, you're going to need high dev traits, but we didn't get many. You can have dev traits upgrade throughout the season though if players play well. So that is
dev traits can upgrade. Oh, shout out to the tier 1 sub. Dig it. Now Doobie, you are now a subscriber to your boy. But yeah, so yeah, this is gonna be hard. Trash team is gonna be hard to get up there.
Where are we at on this ranking? We finished with the 60th.
The 60th class.
You might not think that's great, but compare it to the rest of the MAC conference, we were still ahead of it. It's gonna be hard to sign top.
See now that y'all got these tier 1 subs, see now I gotta hop in here all the time now. Y'all pull up my card right now. Now I can't not stream. Y'all pulling my car right now. Now I gotta hop in here.
Top classes with these smaller schools though. See Conference USA. Take a look at the Mountain West even. Boise State's the only one that pulled off a top 40 class. You look at the Sun Belt, no one's doing great here either. And when it comes to getting some of the talent that these top schools are able to acquire, we really just have to hope that they end up transferring out because they wanted playing time.
Do work.
That's the only way that we're probably gonna get. We got our 1 4-star, but if we want to sign more of these, it's gonna be a grind. We're also very close.
If you don't want ads, you can get a sub.
The training results, so I'm actually gonna get.
But I don't pressure nobody to get no subs. Y'all know me, bro. Grinding. Listen, we on Ultimate Team this year, Dark. That's what we doing.
Tier 3 unlocked.
We on Ultimate Team,
just
bro.
Because I'd like to get a.
I want to play 2v2 and 3v3 with y'all, bro.
Boost on that side of things. I never even checked what Joe Moorhead was good at either.
We gonna grind it until they start making offensive linemen running backs. Then we out. Then we out of here. Once they start making Lamar Jackson a wide receiver, we out. That's when it start getting a little crazy. We out of here when they start doing that.
Is he a scouter? He is able to scout at least at the bare minimum, so every position is now covered. That's beautiful. Our offensive coordinator covers the offensive positions. Our defensive coordinator has
Ultimate Team start getting crazy.
Ones. And that means that we can look for gyms next year. You see what this is too? We have an athletes tab, so we can actually sort by athletes. Another cool feature is abilities will carry over. So let's say that Elijah Jackson had takeoff. We could move him over to receiver.
It just,
and as long as
hype train. Oh, they did a hype train for me.
Takeoff ability,
bro. I don't know what none of this is, bro.
Over to receiver, because as you can see,
I don't know what none of this is, bro.
Carry over. I think that's
y'all pulling my car right now. I am so inexperienced
because you can basically put them.
So I thought that this whole time, I thought that the streamer. I thought the streamer started hype trains. I didn't know. I'll spend all. All right, Dar. Dar said I'll spend all the money. Hey, do your thing, bro. Cause listen, bro, it started getting crazy towards the end. Once all them 90s and 91, 95, when they start dropping, it get a little crazy. You said dance like hype train. Hold on.
Me is an average kid and no one understands. Mom and Dad and Vicky always giving him commands.
Hold on. There we go.
Mom and Dad and Vicky always giving him commands.
How the young folk do it? All right, I'm tired. All right. Hey, Diggy! Hey, hold on, y'all. So,
well, right here, I'm going to use another imperfect position for
goal team. Here on second down.
I think it's it. All right, here we go. I think I found it.
They are getting cocky and cockier on third down here.
There it is. Oh my God. Listen to what he says.
Second down. Good timing on the quick out.